Well, hello and welcome again to Hot Flashes and Cool Chats. So, as you may know, I started these conversations because through my work and the community that I'm building, I meet so many amazing people. And these women they're not always women, but most women, they're passionate about supporting women in midlife. And so, this chat series is a way of me to introduce them to you. As I'm meeting them, I get to know them, I'm able to provide a little space for you to hear their stories, get to know them personally, and learn about their products or services and how they can be a resource for you in this season when we're just trying to be a little brighter, make things a little bit easier, and empowering ourselves. So today, I've got a good friend of mine, a longtime friend that we know in and out of business. And I think it's funny because I feel like we've known each other for so long. We've only known each other business-wise for a short time. But this is my friend, Michelle Gertz. She is the founder of Next Chapter Coaching, and she really works to empower women in all stages of life. But I just wanted to find out a little bit about you. So tell me a little bit about you and how you support women in midlife.
Hi, Meredith. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm a huge supporter of both your business brand and passion projects. Next Chapter Coaching was created because my first career, I was a casting director for 20 plus years and worked with all creative types. And I really saw a need for people owning their own story. And especially when it comes to going from one career, a first career, to a second, even third or fourth career. I think we're all constantly in transition. And I
Mm.
found both in my own life and language and with my community, everybody was looking for what's next. What's the next chapter? What am I designing for myself? And I think owning the pen and the power in that is really hard, especially for women, and especially when it comes to women who are constantly, feeling like we're taking care of everyone else. And maybe our families come first, our kids come first, our career comes first, but where are we? And
Yeah.
so Next Chapter really was created so that I could support women, people, families, parents in navigating life's transitions
Yeah.
in all ages and stages.
Yeah. And it's so true. I just feel like there's so many times, especially in this chapter of our life, that, and I think I was just talking about this the other day. I had a transition, and I feel like I was always looking behind me and seeing how do I get back somewhere? But the whole time I was looking behind me and I wasn't looking in front of me.
Yeah.
So I love that you're able to support women of all stages and individuals. I don't want to just say it's for women, but individuals of all stages because life is a transition. It should be transitioning. We should be learning from certain part of our life and then moving on. And we had chatted about this a little bit before recording, but our boys, we know each other from our young men,
Yes.
that we were part of an organization that really helped our young men transition from these young boys that they are into the beginnings of adulthood as we got them off to college and prepared them for that. And we need to take a little, I guess, a note from what we were supporting our young men with
Right.
and take it for ourselves because it really is about what are we learning right now so we can propel ourselves forward.
Absolutely. I agree. And both as parents, because I lead parent groups as well, and as professionals and women in particular, I think owning that part of it, the duality of life where there is so much possibility and there's some overwhelm and confusion, and that's okay. That's just part of transition. I think people get stuck and we all feel a little overwhelmed when things don't look the way that we had anticipated or how we had planned. I know with a lot of parents, we talk about, you know, being the person that your child needs. And it's not always the child that we had envisioned, and that's okay.
Mhm.
But it's making those sort of realizations and really leaning into all the possibilities and all the opportunities that come with accepting that.
Yeah, I think you're so right because I feel like I have two completely different boys, and it's funny because I think we're getting on the parenting, which is totally fine. I think a lot of us are in midlife. are juggling, and we talk about this a lot, our aging parents and our growing kids. So this is a really good topic for that because we think when before we have kids what it's going to look like.
Yep.
And it quickly shows you when you have a child that everything, this perfect world that you had planned,
Yep.
is not, and everything has its own schedule. And just when you think you have these kids figured out, something changes.
Yep.
Um, and I was going to say that my kids are so completely different.
Yeah.
And let's even say now there's a career, not a career, a path now for kids going to school.
Yeah.
I have one son who wanted the really fun craziness, the what do they call it with the schools? The ones like the rah-rah schools,
Yeah.
right? He's big into school to sports and he really wanted to go somewhere away and big. My other son, he's so mature for his age that the traditional school was not the right path for him.
Yeah.
It really was listening to both boys and supporting them where they were at. And I think that a lot of people, they're afraid to do that. They think that they have to follow what supposedly you're supposed to do. Your kids should go to this 4 year and it needs to be this Ivy League. And so a lot of parents, I think, are getting stuck in this worry. Oh, my kid has to have do all APs and
Yeah.
SAT scores and all that, but it doesn't have to look like that.
No, no, you have to be the person that your child needs. Parent the child you have, not who you think they are or you want them to be. It's really important and it's all about normalizing that everybody has their own path. And when you talk about being a parent or as a professional, that is all about the acceptance of it, about
Mhm.
normalizing what we're all going through. If you can turn some of our own personal uncertainty into uh, possibilities, right? And show our kids that it doesn't have to look like everyone else's. And
Yeah,
I think it creates a lot of meaning and connection, both within families and within our community. I mean, that's what we're
yeah,
all looking for, right? Connection, community, like meaning in our lives, both personally and professionally.
yeah,
So I just love the idea that what I've created is a space for everyone to embrace whatever your next chapter is.
mhm,
And I hope that people will find the tools, give themselves, the power and the pen, literally
yeah,
to sort of
yeah.
write their own history, their own future.
Yeah, I love that. So you talked a little bit about the parenting group, but I know that you work with people in a lot of different ways. So you have a couple different groups, and then you also work with people one-on-one. So tell me a little bit about kind of the different ways that people could work with you.
Yeah, I think it's I sort of am I curate it to whatever the age and stage and the person is at. So I do one-on-one professional coaching where we meet once a week or bi-weekly. So I can help people sort of carve out, design what is next, personally, professionally, and parenting, if it applies to them. And then I have parenting groups for all ages and stages. So I have elementary, I have middle school, I have high school, college, and an empty nester group. And when it comes to midlife and beyond, I have spoken to grandparent groups as well, because I think as a grandparent, you want to be involved in your kids' lives, but you're not sure how to navigate that. So I think there's lots of next chapters. So there's lots of different ways to work with me. I work with nonprofits and different organizations coming and designing workshops for them. Both you and I both are connected to a lot of people in this space. And
Mhm.
so I partner with people so that we could do a journaling workshop together and I could bring the conversation and they could bring the journaling and the writing aspect. I have a friend who is a media expert and does technology, both for younger and older. And so bringing my skill set and theirs, I like the strategic partnership aspect because we all can
Yeah,
make each other better.
yeah. I mean, exactly. I feel like you can only be an expert in so much, but when you know the expert, I mean, that's where I find, both yourself and me, where our strengths really lies is I know my strengths
Yeah.
and I know the strengths of other people and I know where to find them when somebody needs them. So I was just joking with someone the other day. I'm like the human Rolodex, you know.
Yeah, but that's by the way,
Yeah.
that's a huge compliment. I mean, I think where we get to in midlife is that we realize that, right? That's the
Yeah.
that's the earned wisdom that we get.
Ooh.
It's the knowledge,
Yeah.
the knowledge in knowing what you do know and what you don't know, and
Hmm.
to ask for help, and that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
midlife can start as early as, your 30s too. And there's a lot of people that are in their late 20s that have already had three career changes. So, all these changes and transitions and next chapters can come at any time, but it creates a natural crossroads. And I
Yeah.
think if you look at it, that those past experiences don't have to weigh you down. They can be wisdom. They can sort of levitate you to the next level,
Yeah.
and bring you to whatever opportunities and possibilities are next. I mean, I tend to be definitely optimistic in that way, that I feel like everybody we meet, everyone,
Yeah.
that we work with, they can teach us something. So everyone is a teacher to us, and we are teaching, as we're learning.
Yeah, I am the same way. I definitely feel like every conversation, every connection that I make is for a reason. And sometimes it's not something that maybe is going to serve me, but I know it's something that can serve someone else.
Yeah.
So always supporting that. You had mentioned too, you have these groups. Is everything virtual or do you have in person as well, or is it a combination?
It's a combination, it's a hybrid. They're really designed, a lot of my, like the elementary parents and the middle school parents really crave seeing other parents, connecting. They have to get to pick up. So I sort of cater it to their schedules, like right after drop off or pickup. And then my older ones, like the high school and the empty nester group, um,
Hmm.
you know, they are a little bit have more free time, so they want to meet in person. But the middle school and the elementary, tend to be more virtual, just because they only have a certain amount of time. They crave that connection, but they'd like
Yeah.
to do it according to their schedule. So it
Yeah.
really is, sort of that's why even on my website, I keep it very open-ended, because it's so curated to the person or to the group or to the community.
Yeah.
Um, and I just know, for me personally, the groups and the village that helped me become the person and the parent and the woman that I am have defined me. And I had a long time in between being a casting director and figuring out what was next. And I thought, if I could create this for everybody, that's what I
Yeah.
would want to do. So that's why I created Next Chapter Coaching. That's why I have my groups. And I think people have really been impacted by our discussions and also the connections that they've made.
Yeah, because I definitely think when kids are younger, there's almost like a natural community that's built in because you have the schools and you have the sports and everything. And that's what I'm even learning as I am creating this space, Mamas in Menopause, is as you kind of age out, as your kids are aging out, you are also aging out of these just natural communities that are being formed for you. And we as women and men as well, we really need to make sure that men are realizing they need the support as well
Yeah.
to build those natural connections. I feel like women tend to find times to grab lunch or go shopping or
Yeah.
something with the girlfriends. Men, not so much. I feel like they kind of do a little bit in isolation. I love that my husband, he hikes and he has other activities and he has some buddies that he goes with. Um, Not as much as I do, but
Yeah.
they need to
Women
know it's
seek it
okay.
more. Yeah, women seek it more. I definitely agree. My husband plays the drums, and he has a dad band, and
Ah,
and he loves that. And that's, it's an outlet for him, and it's a connection. But yeah, I think we have it a little bit more built in because we're social by nature. But I think there's lots of opportunities for men and women. You could do it together as a couple. There's lots of opportunities, and as an individual. But I think that's the key, especially when we're talking about midlife, is there's a shift in priorities, and also all this space opens up, right? And so
yeah,
sometimes, again, how are you looking at it? Are you looking at it like, in an overwhelm, or are you looking at it, this is like opportunity time? Um, and you don't have to do it alone. Like, there's people like you, like me, like so many resources that want to support people in this space. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a lonely place to be at all. To me, this is like a pivotal moment. We have so much of our lives to live, so much of our lives. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's an exciting time. It's really an exciting.
Yeah. It really is. And, if you do any kind of outside like events and different experiences, definitely feel free to share. Or if there's things that are coming up, I can put in the notes. Anything exciting coming up that you're working on?
Yeah, next week, I'm speaking on a panel with the Golda Project Foundation, and it's a lot right before the Jewish New Year, kind of planning a fresh restart and empowering women to just take this next year and really own it, right? Really lean
Yeah.
into who you want to be, how you want to show up. Um, and I have all my school groups that are just starting now in September. So again, any parenting groups
Mm.
and developing some workshops for some nonprofits and some schools in the fall. So yeah, it's been busy and it's good. Like September sometimes feels like back to school for me too. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but I'm happy to support and to and to correspond with anybody if they reach out at any time.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, on that note, so what's the best way for people to get a hold of you and connect with you?
Yeah, I think either through just email me at michelle@nextchaptercoaching.org or message me on Instagram, Next Chapter Coaching Michelle, and reach out. I just love dialogue. I love staying
Yeah.
connected to people. There's a lot of great resources out there, and I think we can all make each other better and lift each other to whatever's next, next
Yeah.
chapter for us all.
Yeah. And I think one thing that I found personally with you, and I know that we share the same mindset, is someone could reach out to us and kind of just share what's going on. And maybe we're not the right fit, but we know someone who might be. So we are
Absolutely.
just such a good connector collaborator. So that way we make sure that whoever comes to us really finds that the true, authentic alignment, space that's in alignment with them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I think that, we're so accustomed to doing things on our own, especially, right? You
yeah,
hunker down as women and as, being maternal in the world that we live in, but you don't have to do it alone and reach out. And there are so many even free resources, newsletters. I have a newsletter, you have a newsletter, or Facebook
yeah,
community. There's a lot of free resources to just take that step to stay connected to people to get you where do you want to go.
yeah,
That's the thing. It doesn't have to be this big grand thing. I think with so many of
yeah,
my clients too, when we start working together, I break it down to these small steps. And, I have on my website like this, these lists of like big ideas, but small words because
mm,
everything doesn't have to be so grand. I think
yeah,
you know, that's the misnomer that we all fall into. Like it has to be a big step. It has to be a big career transition. It has to be a big conversation. No, it doesn't. It's just like these little conversations that you and I
yeah,
have that just move each of us further along and
yeah.
makes each other better.
I couldn't agree more. And just like you had mentioned too, whether someone is following a Facebook page or receiving a newsletter, it might take you a little bit of time, but you're digesting and you're consuming and you're making yourself ready
Yeah.
along the way. It doesn't mean all of a sudden I know I have this big decisions or my life is changing and I need this big production of things I need to do. Yeah, start this these are little ways that I really felt people could start to get to know you. If they do need some kind of support in this next chapter, this is one little bite size. They get to know you, they get to hear you a little bit more.
Yeah.
They get to know you and trust you. Then they can read your newsletter. And then maybe if they need support, they can reach out or they just know, I'm ready. I've been priming this and now I'm ready. You just introduced me to Michelle. That's exactly who I need to talk to. So hopefully we've inspired someone to at least take some steps toward their next chapter.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And even if it's just listening to important conversations, I think
yeah,
that's where we can all stay connected and move forward. So yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful. I'm so grateful for the connection and I hope that we can continue the conversation and to hear from everybody. And just reach out. I
Yes.
think that's the key. Just reach
That
out.
is it. Well, thank you, thank you. I appreciate all your time, your energy, your beautiful soul inside and out. And I really want to appreciate everyone for continuing to listen and learn about these amazing resources and the people that you can just contact for really great information. So until next time, remember you are not alone on this midlife journey that we're on together. And here is to more hot flashes, cool chats, and wonderful, amazing, meaningful connections. Until next time, bye, guys.
Bye.